Why you destroy it right before it works. You were so close. You know exactly which day it was. You don't need to check the journal. You remember it the way you remember a car accident. The slow motion of it. The moment you knew. Not after the trade closed. During it. While you were doing it. Some part of you watched yourself make the decision and didn't stop it. That's the part nobody talks about. Not the loss itself. The fact that you saw it coming and did it anyway. There's a pattern that almost every experienced trader carries, and it doesn't show up in the losing weeks. It shows up right before the breakthrough. You've had a good run, maybe 5 days, maybe 10, maybe the best stretch you've had in months. Your entries are clean. You're following the plan. You're finally feeling something that almost resembles confidence. And then, something shifts. It's subtle at first. A trade you shouldn't have taken. A size you had no reason to go. A session you should have closed but didn't. And within 48 hours, sometimes within a single afternoon, everything you built is gone. And you're sitting there, not angry, not surprised. Almost like you expected it, like you were waiting for it to end. Most traders call this bad luck. Some call it the market punishing them. A few will say they need better risk management. But somewhere underneath all of that, if you sit with it long enough, there's a question that doesn't go away. Did I do that to myself? Psychologists have a name for this, self-sabotage. But that word has been watered down by the internet, used on Instagram posts about people who don't drink enough water. What happens to traders is darker than that, and more specific. When you've been losing for a long time, and I mean really losing, months, maybe years, your nervous system starts to adapt, not to winning, to losing. Losing becomes the baseline. It becomes what familiar feels like, and when something threatens to change that, when you get close enough to actually make it, your brain doesn't celebrate. It panics. Because winning means something has to change. It means the story you've been telling yourself, the one where you're not quite there yet, the one where you're still figuring it out, the one where the breakthrough is always coming but never here. That story ends, and some part of you isn't ready for it to end. Not because you want to fail, but because failure is the one thing you know how to survive. Success is unfamiliar territory, and the brain, your brain, my brain, every trader's brain, will always choose the familiar over the better. Every single time, unless you make it conscious. There's something else underneath this, something harder to say out loud. If you succeed, if you actually become profitable consistently, then you have to stop making excuses. You have to stop blaming the strategy. You have to stop saying you just need more time, because you'll have proven that it's possible, and then every bad day after that is yours, completely yours. No more comfortable uncertainty to hide in, just accountability. And for a lot of traders, that is the most terrifying thing the market has ever offered them. Here's the one thing I want you to take from this. The breakthrough doesn't fail because of the market. It fails because you have an unconscious upper limit, a ceiling you set for yourself a long time ago, maybe before you ever opened a trading platform, based on what you believe you deserve, based on what you believe is actually possible for someone like you. And every time you get close to that ceiling, you find a way back down. Not because you're weak, because you're human. The work, the real work, isn't in the charts. It's in finding that ceiling, sitting with it, asking where it came from, and then making a decision, slowly, quietly, with nobody watching, that you're allowed to go past it, that a good week doesn't have to end in a disaster to be real, that you're allowed to hold on to it. Most traders never find the ceiling. They just keep hitting it, calling it bad luck, calling it the market, starting over, again, and the ceiling stays exactly where it was, waiting. Think about day 19, not the trade, not the loss, the moment just before it, when things were going well, when the account was building, when you were, for maybe the first time in a long time, close. What did that feel like? Not the confidence. Underneath the confidence, that quiet discomfort, that low hum of something that didn't quite feel right about things going right. That was the ceiling. And the next time you feel it, that quiet discomfort when things are finally working, that's the moment, not to trade more, not to push harder, just to notice it, name it, and stay. The market didn't take it from you on day 19. You gave it back. The only question worth asking is why.